What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and it's that time of the week, folks. It's your favorite segment, my favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment, where we take a look at the financial data for DSP Gaming and DSP React. That's right, folks. And this week is a special week because we all know that Phil Burnell initiated the big Pocalypse. That's right. From his first day back, our boy Phil came in strong and initiated Code Bag. That's right, folks. And we're here to see if it actually paid off. And spoiler alert, he did make a little extra cash from the previous week, but of course, support is still slow and low. So let's get into the numbers. Let's talk a little bit more, and let's talk about how going forward, this will impact our boy Phil. That's right, folks. So as you guys know, Phil actually worked a little bit more this week. He actually streamed about 6.5 days. So as you guys know, on November 2nd, on his day off, he decided, you know what, I need to stream at least one day. I can't go 3 days without begging. I have to come on and make sure that I beg, which he did. So he came on a night stream and he worked an extra shift. That's right. And the whales did come out to support Phil. They did, because they felt bad for their leader and they wanted to make sure that they gave alms and tithes to the cult leader, who is Phil. That's right. So we're going to say that the work week extended 7 days. So we went from November 2nd all the way through November 8th. That's right, folks. And for the work week, our boy Phil managed to pull in $1,017 in tips. Now, that's a significant increase from the previous week where he missed 3 days of work. That's right. Where he only managed to pull in $352 in tips. So not bad, Phil. I mean, if you average it out there, Phil, if you average out what he made this week and last week, our boy Phil averaged about $650 in tips, which again is not good. It is not good. So he is nowhere near making up for the lost income due to his sickness. That's right, folks. And that's the main reason why Phil initiated the big Pocalypse this week. That's right. He was waiting for an opportune time, and he saw that support was abysmal and DSP Gaming was in trouble. So, of course, big Pocalypse came out of the woodwork. That's right, folks. And expect more big Pocalypse. I mean, this isn't just a 1 week occurrence. This is going to be ongoing to the end of the year, because Phil knows, like I do, this year's financial information has been utterly abysmal. From his tips to his super chats, which are down, to his ad revenue because his views are down. It hasn't been a good year for Phil. It just hasn't. And while yes, he's made more money than the average American makes, it's still less than what Phil expects. And then if you take into account all of his bills and everything he owes, it's not good. When you lose over 20% in income for year over year and your bills just increase, it's not good. So let's keep going anyway. So for the work week super chats, our boy Phil managed to make $301 in super chats, which if you compare that to what he made last week, was only $144. Phil averaged about $200. He averaged about $200 the last 2 weeks in support for super chats. So again, not good. Not good at all. He hasn't been able to bounce back from his his several days of sickness. So if we take a look at the grand total for the work week, Phil managed to pull in $1,318 compared to $496 from the previous week. So if you take those two numbers, Phil averaged about $850 in support for the work week. That's not good. That is not good. That is way below the weekly average Phil makes. Now you might say to yourself, Duty, why are you using both numbers? I'm using both numbers because the amounts are kind of skewed, being that he did miss 3 days last week and he only managed to make $496 in support. You kind of have to take the two, because this week is going to be the number is going to be inflated because, of course, the big Pocalypse, the Dents feeling sorry for him and throwing more money his way. As you can see here, the whales did whale out just a little bit on the first day back. But after that, it was just normal support. I mean, you see a couple of days there we only made $90. You see a couple of days there we only made $112. And that's for both streams, which is not good. Now, He made $1,318 this week, but of course we have to negate $125 due to chargebacks. And the reason why I'm doing that is because Phil made it a point to highlight that. So we're going to deduct $125 from his total. So Phil really only made $1,193 for the work week, which it's just not good. If you take that amount and you add last week's amount, Phil made about $750 in support this week, which is abysmal. It is. And you have to do the two because both weeks are skewed. Last week is skewed because he was off 3 days, and this week is skewed because of the big Pocalypse and the Dents feeling sorry for him and having several days to save up their welfare check and throw it at Phil. So, if you average the 2 weeks out, Phil made about $750 in support for the work week. That's not good, folks. It's not good whatsoever. So, if we take a look at the totals for our boy Phil for the month of November, Phil has pulled in so far for 9 days. He's pulled in $1,193. So that averages out to about $4,000. That's going to average out to about $4,000 for the month of November. And folks, I don't need to tell you how abysmal that is. It's just utter abysmal. If you come over here and you take a look at the numbers for 2022 and you see what Phil was averaging for his tips, or for his full day, he was averaging like $250 to $300 a day easily. And then you can see some days here we made $493. There was one stream here on October 21st, 2022, where he made $674. I mean, if you look at the numbers from September to December, Phil did well. He did well last year. And he is nowhere near that amount or nowhere near those figures for this year. And like I stated, Phil is on pace to drop 20% of his income this year. And the thing is, you might say to yourself, well, it's 1 year, it happens. He may bounce back next year. No, you have to take a look at that statement and see what happened. He opened up a second channel, which you would think would bring him more money, and it just didn't. It hurt his DSP gaming channel. Views, money, memberships, it hurt it. It dropped it. And you have to remember that these super chats and tips that I'm calculating here are both for DSP gaming and DSP reacts. So Phil, I don't know how you open up a second channel and you manage to make less money. It just makes no sense whatsoever. But of course, Phil is the consummate businessman. He knows what he's doing, I guess. So yeah. He's made $1,193 for November so far. So he's on pace to have yet again another shitty month for November. And mind you, if you looked at the YouTube check, if you look at the memberships, and if you look at the ad revenue, that is terrible. Terrible. He finally dipped under 400. He was at 390 something. One of the dents came in and dropped a 20 member gift that he's back over 400. But I think when he's scheduled to come back tomorrow, he'll probably be back under 400 again. He'll be at about 380 or whatever, because he's scheduled to lose about another 30 to 40 members this upcoming week. Yep, that's right. So again, it's not looking good for our boy Phil whatsoever. And then of course the view counts, we don't have that yet. It's way too early, but I took a peek at Social Blade, and it's not good for Phil whatsoever. I think if he continues the pace that he's on for the first week of November, he's going to average less than 500,000 views for both channels. That's not good, Phil. It's not. All right, so let's just look at the totals for the work year so far. So we're going to look at everything he's made from 2023 on up and then compare it year over year. So Phil made $45,812 so far this year. If you compare that to last year, he made $56,614. So he is down yet again, negative 19% in tips. Again, that number just continues to fluctuate between 18 and 20%. It hasn't decreased, and Phil is running out of time. He has a month and a half left of streaming, and I don't see him hitting the black this year. No way. It's not going to happen. And then for super chats, Phil made $18,502 in 2023. We compare that to last year where he made $22,606 for a negative net decrease of, again, 19%. Same thing with tips, folks. And then if we look at the grand total, Phil so far this year for almost 11 months of streaming has made $64,314. Compare that to what he made last year, which was $79,220 for, again, a net decrease of negative 19%. Those are big numbers. And mind you, please remember, these are gross numbers. This doesn't include YouTube's cut, right? So you can knock off 30% right off the bat for super chats. So 30%. And you can knock off roughly another 20% for taxes right there. So that's a significant amount right there that Phil is gonna drop off. So if he made 18, so I'll give you an example. If he made it, let's say $20,000 in super chats, right? You knock off 30% right off the bat right there, that's $6,000 that you're wiping off. So Phil really made about $13,000. And then you tax that at 20%, which is conservative, 20%, you're lopping off another what's that? 10, 1,300, 20, you're lopping off 2,600 for taxes. So Phil really made only about $10,000 in super chats. You get what I'm saying? And then for tips, you take away PayPal's fees and then taxes on top of that. And Phil, yeah, it's not good for Phil at all. It's not. So as you can see, the grand totals here, Phil has a lot of work to do, and he just doesn't have enough time to get it in gear and get it fixed. I know he's hoping that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will save the channel, but folks, I just don't see it. Multiplayer just don't bring in the views and the cash for Phil. But I guess he's hoping because there's nothing else after that. Nothing. Like a Dragon, nobody wants to see that. Another Mario game that he's going to play, nobody wants to see that. The Dents want to see Baldur's Gate 3, but Phil won't play Baldur's Gate 3. Nope, can't do it. They want him to play Lord of the Fallen. It's been a month. Nobody cares anymore. He doesn't want to play that because it's too long. So Phil, get fucked. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This month coming up, or month and a half, should be so fucking hilarious. And expect more Pocalypse to occur. Phil's going to be hitting the begging. And tis the season, folks. Tis the season. Don't forget, folks. Tis the season. I'm going to leave you with this little video right here, folks. It encapsulates Pocalypse and what we should expect for the rest of the year, folks. This is what we're going to get for the rest of the year, folks.
Because people are just sitting around waiting. That's not the attitude to have. Again, especially because I know people are watching the content. It's not that, oh, well, it's just, people taking a break from the content. No, you guys are here. You guys are here enjoying and watching, but too many people are just sitting back now and saying, I'm just going to wait, give me the gift, give me the gift, give me the gift. It's not a very good attitude to have, all right? Especially during this holiday season. Now's the time for giving, right? To give, not to receive. Now's the time for people to say, hey, I like Phil's content. It's great. I want to support the community a lot. I want to be the gifter, not the receiver, but the giver. That's this time of year, Good time to think about it that way, okay?
That's right, folks. It's a good time to think of giving money, giving your hard-earned money to Phil, because 'tis the season. Mind you, he never gives anybody shit, but of course, the rules never apply to Phil. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.